Alright, today I'm going to replace a desiccant on a 2006 Toyota Matrix. I've never done this before, but I replaced the compressor, and this is part of establishing a good warranty for the part, so I'll be replacing it. The desiccant is similar to the accumulator Drier that is on a lot of other larger vehicles. It's just a packet that has something like kitty litter on the inside that's supposed to dry and clean the air that moves through the condenser. So this is the packet that I received with my compressor kit. The desiccant is this piece that has the kitty litter stuff in it. Got some extra O-rings and a new cap, which is interesting, along with this plastic piece that's included as well. The condenser, now let me get the drop light here. The condenser hooks up to the front of your radiator and works just like a radiator for your cooling system. You can see the high and low pressure hose there, and then over here on the far end you see this tube. This should hold my desiccant. The thing that I did find funny is that it needs quite a large size Allen to loosen this up, and I believe it's going to be 13 to 15 millimeter, but we'll see here in a second. Okay, so I took that plug out. It was a 14 millimeter. When I pulled it out, it was a plastic plug with that other plastic piece on top. So I'll probably replace it with the aftermarket stuff that I received. It's metal, and I don't know if you can see it up in there or not, but the desiccant is actually inside that tube, so I'm going to pull it out and replace it. Oh, and one other thing, that plug was hand tight. I mean, it wasn't even in there at all. Using this device right here with my hand, I simply unscrewed it. I would just snug it when you put it back in. Alright, so here's the old desiccant. I pulled it out. When you looked up inside the tube, it was very flat. I was having a hard time getting it out. I wound up putting in a paint can opener, and then I realized when I flipped this down, this became like a little tab, and then I pulled it out with a pair of needle nose pliers. So now I'm just going to replace it with a new one and put it all back together. Alright. I'm going to need both hands to push this all the way back in, and then I'll show you how far to push it up. Okay, so putting the new desiccant in was not as simple as it seemed. The aftermarket desiccant was thicker than the OEM, so I tried putting it in from underneath and it just wouldn't go. So I just went ahead and pulled the condenser, used gravity to assist me, kind of beat on the side of the little pocket that holds the condenser. You can see it's still out, and I'm twisting it in order to get it in there. It's just super big, but you know, if you look at the condenser, it's pretty straightforward to disassemble. Take off the high and low pressure hoses. Of course, I have the system's been purged by certified mechanic and all this good stuff, so there's no pressure in it, so it was nothing to take those hoses off. And I got it upside down, and now I'm slowly kind of getting it forced in there, which has been a super pain. So yeah, as you can see, that is it, and I'm twisting on it trying to get it in there. Alright, so I finished installing the Desiccant. It's in. Not very impressed with this aftermarket one. It was pretty fat and really hard to get in that tube on the right hand side. I had to essentially take the condenser out just to tip it upside down to have gravity work with me, kind of tap the tube with a metal object to get the little beads that were inside to fall deeper down so that I could stuff it down in the tube. So not very impressed with that. The one that came with it is right here. It's more slender than the other one, and would have been a lot more convenient to throw in there. But it's in there now, so be it. Since I have the condenser out, I'm going to go ahead and replace the O-rings to the high and low pressure hoses before I put them back in, and then I'm going to reinstall the condenser. Okay, the aftermarket replacement cap that came for the Desiccant tube is too large. So I'm going to have to replace this plastic piece and use the old one. All right, I'm going to replace the condenser now, and there are all of these are 10 millimeter bolts. You got two that hold the hood latch down. You have one that holds the bottom half of this bracket down. You got two 10 millimeter bolts that hold the top in, and these plastic plugs that sit down there and there. So I'll put the top in first, and then slip it down. Tuck those plastic wear devices down in there, and then I should be able to screw it all in. I have replaced the O-rings on my high and low. I'm going to take and put some page 46 oil on those just to make sure that they seal up well. I'll tighten those back up, and I should be golden.